Hey guys, welcome back. So today I wanted to do a video talking about different conditioners in grooming. So what I've noticed since I've transitioned from the hair world to the grooming world is a lot of groomers are really afraid of conditioner. Um, I also noticed in like the human world that it did seem kind of like an old school thing with like cosmetology too. I think this is my theory. This is not factual, but my theory is part of the reason that people are so afraid of conditioners is like, back in the day, all the conditioners were really heavy, like cholesterols and stuff like that, that left like a really harsh film on the hair. So I think a lot of people associate conditioners with stuff like that that's really heavy, like the mayonnaise consistency, you know what I mean? When they're like really thick and chunky. I personally don't use conditioners like that. I mean, they might be okay on like a really thick dog, like, like our double coated breeds might be able to get away with that. But even on them, it kind of leaves a film. But there are different types of conditioners. So I think sometimes when people say like, oh, I'm putting a conditioner on the dog, that other people will think like, oh my god, like if you like, especially if you're putting conditioner on something like a Yorkie or Shih Tzu or whatever, I think most people would like cringe. They're like, oh my god, like why would you ever put conditioner on them? But there's different stuff that you can use. My grandma was another one that she had like really fine, thin hair that was limp. So she was like, I can't use conditioner, period. Well, what happens is that when you, especially if you already have oily hair, basically your skin and the dog's skin, they're producing more oil because it thinks it's lacking oil. So if you go in with a shampoo and strip out the oil that it's already producing, basically you can freak out the system and cause it to produce even more oil because it thinks like, oh my gosh, like that's not enough, I'm still dry, I'm going to produce more. So sometimes finding the right conditioner that can help to balance the skin, a lot of conditioners are pH balancing, which is what you're looking for. So basically, this is a very long way of me saying that there is a conditioner out there for each dog. So even if it's like, a thicker coated, like coarser coated breed, they might be able to use a thick, heavy conditioner. But then, like something like a Yorkie might just need a light leave-in conditioner just to put some of the stuff back. So anyway, I have a couple of sources here in front of me. Now, the first one I'll show you, I took a class at the Atlanta Pet Fair this year, and it was all about the HV dryer. But it talked about some different secrets of the HV dryer and enhancing it and stuff like that. And what he talked about were conditioners. Now, what was interesting about it was literally the day before I took double coated Delight, and that teacher said no conditioner, period, if you're trying to do a D-shed or whatever. And this guy argued the opposite. And what he said, it was really interesting. First, he asked if there were any cosmetologists in the room. So, of course, and there were a few others in there as well. So basically, he started talking about the cuticle, which is the outside layer of hair. So the outside layer kind of looks like a pine cone, like the little ridges. Here's a picture. You see the little ridges? That's what the cuticle looks like of your hair. So when you are shampooing them, typically your shampoos are going to be more on the alkaline side, and that's going to cause that cuticle to open up. So when you go back in with the conditioner, it's going to close the cuticle, which is going to help to push some of that moisture out, which is going to actually speed up your drying time. So basically, the first instructor argued that if you use heavy conditioners or if you use conditioner period, that it would slow down your drying time. And I've had people ask me about that because I talk about conditioners. People are like, does it make it dry longer or take longer to dry? And no, it doesn't. If you can find the right conditioner that closes that cuticle, and like some dogs just don't need a lot of conditioning. It's like, my hair doesn't need as much conditioner as like another hair type. It's very similar in dogs. So basically he was talking about the same thing, that if you close the cuticle and you use good products, that will actually speed up your drying time. He also talked about how pH is important, and you're going to need something a little bit more acidic to close the cuticle, which is the same in human hair. Now, there is a difference between humans and dogs. Their pH is a little bit different. It lies more on the neutral, or right around the neutral area on the pH scale. I think it's actually 7.5 for dogs. We are 4.5 to 5.5, so we're more acid. So our pH balancing shampoos are probably not super, super acid, but they're going to be a little bit more on the acidic side because the shampoos are usually more alkaline. So you need the acid to balance it. But from my understanding, they don't use as much of an acidic side. Like human hair, there's the mail person. I've been waiting for my next package to get here, and USP is supposed to bring it. So let's see if they're going to come to my house. If they do, I'm going to have to go out and get my package because I've got some new shears coming. I'm so excited. Anyway, so I personally love pH balancing. Even in this class, it talked about pH balancing. And he talked about your sprays, your leave-in sprays, and that it's important because they replace the sebum, which is the oil in your hair that's stripped out by the shampoo. So, like I said, if you strip all that oil out, sometimes you can freak out the system and cause it to produce even more oil. So these conditioners are going to replace that sebum and basically stop your hair from overreacting and producing even more oil. So there's different types of shampoo. Let me make sure. Okay, here it talks about the typical sprays have about a 4 pH. Okay, so it is more on the acidic side. Basically, a neutral pH is going to be around a 7. And then the acid side is anything like below the 7. So like 1 to 7 is, oh my god, my package is here. Okay, pause. Okay, I'm back. Do you guys, my dog still hears the mail lady driving around. She's across the street. Anyway, so you guys want to see real quick what I got just because it's fun. So I got these shears from Fresh Grooming. They have teeth on both sides of the shear, and I'm so excited. I'm not going to talk too much about them because I'm going to make a whole nother video, so just stay tuned, but I just figured maybe you guys want to see real quick. Okay, so anyway, we were talking about conditioners. Let's go into the different types now that we've kind of brushed over the surface and understand that there's a conditioner for everybody out there. Okay, and yeah, I really liked, I wish, oh my god, I wish I could remember this guy's name. Okay, this year, I'm going to try to remember to write all the instructors' names down on the, on my notes, because basically, this guy had such good information. I remember his name is David, but I can't remember his last name, but he had so much good information. So anyway, now I know I need to make sure that I write down people's names so that I can say like what class I took and who it was instructed by. Anyway, so I was trying to see if there was anything else. Oh, another method that he talked about for deshedding was if you have a good leave-in conditioner that works for shedding, like I think Satin Luster by Quadruped. I'm pretty sure that's the one that I use for deshedding. I really like their all-in-one. That one also works fine for deshedding. But basically what he does is he'll take that deshedding shampoo and he'll spray it in and like let it really get down to the skin. I like to just kind of scrub it through with my hands or use the Ferbliss just to really let it get down to the skin. I'll let it sit for a few minutes and then rinse it off. And basically what that allows it to do, and this is your leave-in, just in case I didn't specify that, because I don't know, sometimes I get talking, you guys. Anyway, so you spray your leave-in, whatever, you rinse it off. You want to rinse it out really good still. And basically what you're allowing it to do is you allow it to get down to the skin. Basically what he talked about is if you've ever like sprayed a dog with the leave-in and you feel like it worked really good at first and then like it was gone. Basically, it is gone. When you just spray it on the top layer, like sometimes you're just blowing it right back off. You know what I mean? That's also why I like to brush things through, because it also kind of makes me feel like it's helping like really get into the hair. So I also do that when I do a deshed. I have a whole video on deshedding. I will remind myself to link it down below so that you guys can check that out if you haven't seen it. I uploaded it like last week or something. Anyway. So, that's another thing that you can do. conditioning wise. So when I say conditioner, that doesn't necessarily mean like, you know, for what we're putting in our hair. That could be a leave-in conditioner, whatever works for that particular dog. So we're gonna kind of breeze through this. I'm just gonna kind of take you through. I have my cosmetology book here. I don't remember if I showed it, but this is the Cosmetology Fundamentals book. This is the book I got after I graduated hair school. Basically, to get this book, you had to go through hair school and you had to finish. So I did that. I actually got my license and I kept it up for a while and then I just wasn't using it. So it's like not super expensive to maintain your license, like if you're using it, but to spend that money, like when I wasn't even working in a salon and I didn't want to work in a salon, just seemed silly. So anyway, I let my license expired, but that's how I got this book. So if you're looking for it, I am going to try to see while I'm at the Hershey show if I can find something comparable, but basically this is good for me to be able to show you guys, you know, kind of, because like there is a lot of similarities. Anyway, let's get into it. So, the first type of conditioner is just like a rinse. That's going to be like your daily conditioner. You know, a lot of dogs that we're seeing, like our 4 to 6 weeks dogs, those are going to usually do like a rinse. And there's different types of rinses. Well, no, I'm sorry. Is that... Let me make sure, because I breezed through this last night. I'm pretty sure that's what it said, was that that was like the rinses. Okay. Yeah, so there's different types. There's like the cream rinse. Now, oh, let me see, because actually Hydra just sent me my products, and I'm going to make a video on that, but I think I probably won't actually put it out until Wednesday, because I want to use it. I have a couple dogs I'm doing Wednesday that I think will be really good with those products. So, gonna do that Wednesday. So anyway, I just wanted to see real quick. I guess these are calling themselves a mask, but I was thinking that Thermo Active Deep Conditioner that I'm always using on Instagram, I'm thinking that is actually more considered like a rinse, because it's usually something that you just leave in for like a minute or two or whatever. There are different rinses that you can do in human hair, and actually the Holistic Dog Grooming book talked about one. It was like a sugar, like I think it was like all organic honey and brown sugar or something. You could do like a scrub or something. There was like different things you can do. But anyway, so there's like rinses like that, right? And then we have like the instant conditioners. So those, they coat the hair shaft and restore moisture and oils, but they do not penetrate into the cortex or replace keratin into the shaft. Instant conditioners have a vegetable base, an acidic pH, and are not recommended for fine or limp hair. They are generally left on the hair for about 1 to 2 minutes. Yeah, so that's probably right then. Yeah. You don't want to use anything like too heavy on fine or limp hair. So we're talking like Yorkie kind of hair. Like you don't want to use anything that's too heavy on that. Now, one trick that's probably not going to talk about in here that I personally do with dogs versus humans. If I do have a dog like a Yorkie and maybe I'm noticing some like dead ends or like maybe they do need a tiny bit of conditioner, what you can do too is take like, for Yorkie, we're talking like a teeny amount, okay? A dog kicked a Dremel into my arm, you see that? But anyway, so you're going to use like a teeny bit of conditioner. Shampoo, I'm really good with like a good like pH balancing, or I use a shampoo, it's called like Structure by Easy Groom. It's meant for like poodle hair, anything like that, like a volumizing, anything like that. And you'll just use like the teeniest bit of conditioner like on top of the shampoo, and I always put it on the areas they need it. So if they have like kind of longer legs, I'll do like their legs, and maybe their tail, something like that, just mainly where they need it, and then I'll leave it on for a minute and then rinse it off. And I think having the shampoo in there too allows it to not get too in there, you know what I mean? So if you have like a Yorkie type coat that you're not over conditioning, make sure if you are using any sort of conditioner on those type of coats other than leave-ins, well, even leave-ins, you gotta go light on it, okay? Like some dogs you can really load them with conditioners, other ones just need like a little bit, you know what I mean? So anyway, now then there's also normalizing conditioners. This may be kind of a little bit more in the grooming or in the cosmetology world, but it is for after like chemical services. So that would be like pH balancing. I'm pretty sure I've actually seen grooming shampoo and conditioner that is meant for color treated hair because we do have creative grooming. That's going to be a little bit more of your normalizing conditioners. Those are going to be, they're more acidic pH, they're more pH balancing, all of that. Next, we have bodybuilding conditioners. Now, these are going to be like your volumizing conditioners. These are the ones that are really great for your fine, limp hair. So, like your Yorkies or your Schnauzers or anything that has like really fine, limp hair that's just not got a lot of volume on its own. That's where you're wanting to look for your volume. And those sometimes will stay on a little bit longer. I know, I'm trying not to just like fully show you like Hydra stuff because I know I'm like on their PR list, and I don't want people to feel like I'm shoving Hydra down their throat. This is just personally what I'm already using. And one thing I like about Hydra versus some other companies I've used is there's been a lot of companies I've used that only have like 1 or 2 conditioners. They may have different scents, but as far as like the actual conditioner goes, it all seems like the same thing to me. I like some, like I said, I avoid the like mayonnaise-y thick kind of conditioners, and I go for more like what our conditioners are kind of more like. Now, we have some like kind of mayonnaise-y thick conditioners, but think about like your daily conditioner. It's usually a little thinner, kind of creamy. Those are the conditioners I like. They also, sorry, I'm really trying not to jam it down your throat, but they do have, let me find the other one I use, the Intense Repair List Mask, Perfect List Mask, something like that. That one's really nice. It's like it's like a really light cream. It almost looks like a styling product. That's also really nice for like thinner coated. It even says for straight coated pets, so I really like that one as well. That's personally why I like Hydra, and one of the reasons I wanted to be on their PR is because I personally really like their products. But that's why I do like them. One of the main reasons is because they do have so many options with the conditioner. Like I said, I've just been a little disappointed by some of the other conditioners that I've seen because it's like you kind of all get the same stuff. I'm sure if you've been doing it for a while, you've noticed it. And I think that's also another reason that a lot of groomers hate conditioners because they're all kind of the same. At least that's from my experience what I've noticed. So anyway, I like that Hydra has that volume mask. I'm going to actually have to pick that up next time I make an order. But I'm trying to wait until I go to Hershey, you know what I mean? So anyway, and then there's customized conditioners. And that's when you are literally making up the conditioner yourself. So you're kind of getting an eye for it, and like you're like, you know what, they need a little of this, like mix up a little magic for them. That's your custom conditioners. And this, I'm trying to see, I guess it doesn't really, you know, I think the instant conditioners, no, it says that you rinse it out. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe I need to scroll a little bit more for the sprays. I was hoping it would talk about the sprays. Because I use a lot of sprays. Like some dogs, like even my every like 4 to 6 weeks dogs, sometimes they don't feel like they need conditioner. It's all about like how their coat feels. If it's feeling a little dry to me, then I'll throw a little conditioner on it. You know what I mean? So anyway, sometimes if they come in and maybe I used a moisturizing shampoo or they're feeling kind of silky already, then I'll just use that all-in-one leave-in from Quadruped. I just really like it. It really, to me, it works on every single dog's hair. And so for like a Yorkie or something, I would give them a quick spritz. For like a Husky or whatever, I would really get in there and make sure that they are getting covered. Okay, so that's the kind of the cool thing about conditioner is that you can make it work for you. Yeah, and just basically what I'm getting at is be open to conditioners, try it out, just go easy with it at first, especially if you're afraid of conditioners, which I've noticed a lot of groomers are hesitant to use conditioners. Don't go like insane with it, you know what I mean? Like just kind of ease into it, like just use a little bit, kind of get comfortable with it, see what it does to the hair, notice how it makes a difference, and just kind of go from there, okay? So don't be afraid of conditioners. That's what I'm here to tell you. Actually, there was one thing. Okay, this is what I underlined. It says, just remember the right conditioner for each client should provide the needed result, great looking, healthy, and well-conditioned hair. So that's the goal. So even if your client is a Yorkie and has limp hair, give it a little bit of something. You don't have to use something heavy that would like make a Samoyed look shiny and pretty. You don't want to use that on your Yorkie. So you want to use something light, but something that gives their hair a little bit of conditioning, replaces that sebum without overdoing it. You know what I mean? So anyway, don't be afraid of conditioners. Like I said, just use a little bit. If you need to do the method where you shampoo them first and still have the shampoo in their hair and put a little conditioner over that, that works. Yeah, there's options out there. So don't be afraid of conditioners because they are your friends, okay? Especially leave-ins. Leave-ins are my personal favorite. It's really hard, unless you just overly drench the dog, it's really hard to overdo it on the leave-in. So leave-ins are a little bit safer too. So utilize your products, use them to your advantage, and it really will make your life easier. Also, using the right leave-ins. I have customers that tell me, like, they just don't understand how I make the hair feel so soft and silky. It's the leave-ins. I promise you it's the leave-ins, because, I mean, I do use conditioners too, but a lot of times I use shampoos and just leave-in conditioners, and that's a huge part of it, is using good leave-ins. So use your conditioners to your advantage. Don't be afraid of them. And I hope that you guys enjoyed. And I will see you in the next one. And we will touch on. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on shampoos. I guess that's the next thing that I'm kind of thinking, is maybe shampoos, and we can talk about different types of shampoos in dogs. Maybe, I don't know. Ask me some questions down below if you have anything that you're interested in as far as shampoos, conditioners. I also kind of want to talk about color. I'm taking a color class at the groom show, and I really want to make a video talking about the differences in dog color versus human color, because I actually don't know if there's going to be a lot. I'm really interested in learning color from a dog groomer's perspective, because I think it's going to be very interesting. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed. I am excited because I have a lot of videos coming for you guys. I hope that you guys are excited too. I appreciate you guys watching me. As always, you guys are awesome, and I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!